everyone, this is Denise again with another charcoal drawing tutorial, and I just want to show a few of my pieces before we begin. And I call myself Denise's Dancing Paintbrush. This is another from a photo I took of my grandson. He was in the backyard in a lounge and rolled over and gave me one of those lovable cheesy smiles. So I took a photo and I am drawing from the photo, first with the vine charcoal. Here I'm correcting from my original to make sure that it matches the right proportions, and then laying in a few shadows. See how soft the vine charcoal is? It just smudges right off with your finger, practically erase it without anything besides your fingers. Fixing the fingers on his hand. I love working with this charcoal because it's pretty fast and easy. It gives you good value, and it's a great exercise in just drawing, just practicing shadows, 5-value system. So I'm smudging up my vine charcoal to get a good soft shadow beginning before I pick up one of my pencils. First one here is the 2B charcoal pencil. Once you start working with the charcoal pencils, it's much more difficult to erase. So you better have your dimensions and your calculations correct first in the vine charcoal that you can more easily erase. He has very light hair, so I don't want to put much of a shadow in the hair. The thing about drawing children is that their skin and their muscles are so soft and round. You have very little in the way of wrinkles and creases. So to define, say, the corners of the nose and the corners of the mouth, you have to use mostly shadow. You just cannot use a hard line. It makes them look older and and wrinkly, like they're suffering with an aging disease. I'm using the side of my pencil to get the most out of the charcoal instead of just using the point. This is kind of a new concept for me. I learned this in the university because we're just so used to using the point, to choking up on a pencil and carving a deep groove into a piece of paper. And this prevents you from making any deep grooves by using the side of the pencil, and you get the most out of the width. Fingers are difficult. There's so many bones, the carpals and metacarpals and phalanges. So I spent 100 days just drawing hands to try and improve my ability to draw hands properly. Also teeth, little baby teeth. They're very small, and you don't want to put too much of a definition, or they look like they have their gaps in their teeth. They look like they need to see an orthodontist. So you have to be really subtle with the gaps between the teeth. I had to pause here before I went to the 4B pencil because my hand began to hurt. I've got that, carpal tunnel problem. A lot of artists do. I often wear a brace on my wrist. It helps a lot, really relieves the pain, but I simply cannot draw with the brace on my wrist. It gets in the way. So holding the pencil far back from the point is supposed to help the carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm fascinated myself watching this because my hands never fly around so quickly in real time. So I'm cleaning up a few areas with my kneaded gum eraser here. You have to keep the paper clean where you are going to later put in the white. The white and the charcoal just do not mix well. They really look bad together. They turn kind of a muddy gray, and bad mix. You have to clean it off completely and restart with the white on a clean side. Also, my blue paper is my middle value. I want to keep that middle value so that I've got, a light, medium, and dark. Again, I'm trying to define the shadows without using any hard lines. I'm using a little smudging tool there instead of my finger. The difficulty with using your fingers is that your skin has natural oils that will get absorbed into the paper, and you can't get those oils out, and it shows. The charcoal turns very dark on top of the oily spots. So notice I still use my finger, but then I'll pull out the smudging tool and use it also. I have my little smudging tool. He's got really great highlights on his clothes and on his face because he was sitting in the sun. Now that it's cleaned up good, I'm going to pull out the white charcoal and put highlights in his hair and on his face. This is part of one of my 100 days of drawing children. I majored in children's book illustration at the university, and I was amazed, really amazed, that they didn't spend much of any time having us draw children. I think we spent 1 week. 1 week. And for children's book illustration, shouldn't you be drawing children more? I really feel that was an error on their part, but I'm correcting it with my own exercises and disciplines. This is 100 days of children. If you draw a children's face every day, you're sure to improve. I think that the typical artist, compares himself or herself with others too much, and I really don't want to fall into that trap. What I want to be is better than I was yesterday. I want to improve myself, not better than anyone else, just better than I was yesterday. Now the Chase Lounge he was relaxing on was one of those with the plastic tubing wrapped around a aluminum frame. So it caught the light in places too, and I want to put some highlights on it, but I'm going to have to pull up the charcoal that I smudged on it before I put the white on. There's a little ridge on the upper lip that catches the light. So the 6B, I'm just putting in the fewest deep shadows because the sunlight's directly on him. There's just a few places where the shadows would be that deep, especially on a child's face. The corners of the mouth and the pupil of the eye. So I'm using the 6B pretty sparingly. Silly me, I signed before I decided I was actually finished, because I forgot to finish the side of this little chair, this Chase Lounge that he's relaxing on. And so I had to go back to my 4B pencil to finish defining the plastic tubing. There we go. See, now it's starting to look like tubing. I have to knead the eraser every time I pull up a little charcoal. And then flatten it so that it's got a nice sharp edge. That makes my hand tired. There we go. Highlights. That's where I was going with this. Okay, so I really hope that you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed doing it. I hope you subscribe if you like my work, and do watch some more. There he is, he's all finished. Have a great one, everyone, and thank you so much for watching.